No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron.
Pike on money, pike on money, pike on money. We making pike on money. Payday, about to throw a rack on China. Need some DFS advice, where can I find some? League of Items got the sheet with all the lineups and all the stacks that you need to get to diamond. League of Items!
Getting gold, that's the goal. Keep on winning on a roll. Kill 4 dragons, got soul. Now you got nowhere to go. Teleporting top to bot. Dive your carry on the spot. That's an ace. Wreck your base. Wear my crown. We on top.
It's the league, it's the league, it's the league, it's the league, it's the league of Iron.
League of Items!
Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of Iron. Legend, he a legend, he a legend.
Legend, 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 legend.
Oh, you had to do it one time. You had to do it to him. Tomorrow is Friday. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Saturday comes afterwards. Something like that. I'm excited. Tomorrow is Friday. And we have an LPL LCK slate. There's 20,000 doll hairs to first place on DraftKings. We'll be going over prize picks, underdog, DraftKings, betting in general. For all the games that are being played tomorrow, but let's start in the LEC. So we have some interesting stuff going on in the LEC from an organizational perspective. One of the teams is basically selling out. So Misfits, I hope Misfits loses every game for the rest of the season. The fact that they are getting rid of a team means that they cannot be trusted. I don't know how you can mess up from that position, but congratulations, you played yourself. So I'm just going to go from 10 spot to 1 spot. I'm going to spend much less time on the LEC today. So BDS has a bad matchup. They're going up against G2. Obviously, we think G2 is going to win. I have no interest in playing BDS. If they win and beat me on this slate, good for them. Pretty unlikely that they're able to win. The team I want to play the second least is Mad Lions. Mad Lions is up against Fnatic. They are priced as the favorites. Obviously, there are reasons for them to be the favorites in this matchup. I'm pretty sure they have a better record so far this split. Everybody was a little bit surprised at how they've been playing. They didn't have a good spring split. Now they're in the summer. They have Niski. People like that. Okay, good for you. Humanoid is a better version of Niski. I think that in general, Fnatic is just a better team than Mad Lions. Have they been playing better than Mad Lions recently? No. Does that mean we should be afraid of Mad Lions? I don't think so. So the 9th team is Mad Lions. I'm not playing them. Then we have the aforementioned Misfits. So I will not be playing the Misfits against Rogue. Like I said, I hope they lose every game for the rest of the season. I think that they have some good players, and maybe this is ultimately a good thing for the players. I think that the people that are buying them, it's like a Spanish organization, which I have no problem with that. You really need people who are enthusiastic and want to create a great organization for them to have long-term success. I'm sure the people that are behind Misfits say that they want to do that, but the way that they're making decisions, I would assume that's probably not the case. You just take a look at some of the people that run the regional leagues or teams in the regional leagues. They just seem so much more passionate about what's going on. So hopefully this is a step in the right direction for them. But like I said, I will not be playing Misfits at all on DraftKings tomorrow. I'm not sure if Prize Picks. I don't think Prize Picks or Underdog has anything for the LEC yet, and I have to get this video out. So like I said, we're not playing Misfits. Then we have XL. So XL is up against Vitality. I'm going to be on Vitality. I know I'm a broken record at this point. If you want to fade Vitality, I completely understand. I think it's a good spot for them. From a talent perspective, long-term, Vitality is better, and I know that has not played out. It hasn't played out that way this split, but that's my read, and I'm not changing that read before the end of the playoffs. If Vitality doesn't make playoffs or does poorly in playoffs, Then maybe going into next season, my mind changes about some things, but I'm not going to change that yet because that's one way that we could be finding value in some of these lines. Then we have SK. SK is up against Astralis. That's one of the closest matchups of the day. Vitality against XL is very close. Astralis against SK is very close. I just prefer Astralis. I think that Vizicachi is equal to Genax, if not better. Xerxes, I think, is a better jungler than Gilius at this point. Dajor and Certus don't really care. And then Kabi and Jonghoon, I prefer them in the bot lane. I think that their support is very good. Jonghoon is a good support. He's super aggressive, and you need playmakers who are willing to take on the responsibility of creating the winning difference for their team. I'm sure you've heard me say that before. That's very important. Taking that initiative is very important. And I love Jonghoon for that reason. Then in the 5 spot, we have Astralis, the other side of that matchup. Obviously, I was just talking positively about them. Vitality, like I said, is in the 4 spot. I expect them to have an upset over XL. They're at 5 and 6 right now. They are going to be competitive for the rest of the year. They're going to have some tough matchups, but ultimately they will make it to playoffs. If you don't agree with me, then bet on them to miss the playoffs. Which, good luck with that. In the 3 spot, we have Rogue. And this is more about, what we're trying to think of for DraftKings. Rogue is in an okay spot. We think that they should win. I'm a little bit afraid of Misfits not creating a bloody environment in this matchup, because Rogue can be a pretty gank-heavy team in the early game. If Misfits falls behind and is not willing to contest objectives, then we can get a very low-paced game, which is not beneficial for DraftKings scoring. But at the same time, I think that Rogue has a pretty good likelihood to win. So maybe, if I'm playing only one lineup on DraftKings tomorrow, maybe it's something like a Fnatic stack with Rogue, a Fnatic stack with G2, Fnatic stack with Vitality. It just depends on how you can kind of combine them together and try to get something that's relatively unique. At 1,176 entries, not every base is going to be covered. There will be unique lineups out there that have a chance at first place. And maybe that means you have to get a third team into your roster where you do a 4-2-1. Maybe you think Rogue takes it slow and you want to incorporate them into the team slot. They are the second most expensive team, so you are paying up to do it. But that might get you a unique combination. In the 2 spot, we have G2. Obviously, G2 is a bloody team in general, and they're up against BDS. That's a good spot for them. They're going to win that match almost every time. And then the number 1 team in Europe for DraftKings tomorrow, in my opinion, is Fnatic. I think that we have a spot where both teams obviously want to win the game, but I think they both understand that this is more about testing themselves, because they both are almost certainly going to make playoffs. Yes, Fnatic can miss playoffs, but nobody expects them to. So this is a big step in the right direction if they get this win, and I think that it is a somewhat surprising line, plus 129 to minus 170. The minus 170 is impossible to bet, I think, on Mad Lions. So that's basically that in Europe. And like I said, I think that Fnatic is probably my favorite play from a DraftKings perspective. They should have depressed ownership in a tough matchup, but in general, those are the spots that I like to attack. But let's transition to the LPL and the LCK. So we have 8 teams playing tomorrow in the LPL and the LCK. Don't really need that. Let's start with the team that's in the 8th spot, and that's Fredit Brion. I'm pretty consistent with Fredit Brion as well. I don't have a good read on them. I don't like many of their players. Morgan is a pretty good top laner, but I don't think that is enough. Kwangdong Freaks is the more talented team. Even if you think Morgan is a very good player, which I think he's borderline very good relative to other players throughout the world, I think that it's a tough matchup against Keen. Specifically, he's one of the better top laners in the LCK. So unlucky, tough matchup. I think that even at plus 181, I'm not interested in that. In order for that bet to pay off, they have to do better than win 36% of the time. I think the match is most likely going to be a 2-0 for Kwangdong Freaks. They've had good matchups against teams like T1, so this should be a walk in the park. Can it be competitive and bloody? Maybe. I don't really see it that way. Since Guangdong Freaks loses pretty consistently to the top level teams, I think that these numbers are a little bit, their numbers are a little bit depressed. I'm surprised that Lava is at 5 and Fate is at 4. That just seems incorrect to me. So on Underdog, Lava's at 5. Henna and Delight, the duo, is at 7 kills. These are pretty bad spots for over-unders. If you want to play the under, I would suggest doing it on Underdog and not on Prize Picks. If you take a look at Prize Picks, we have Lava at 3.5 and Henna at 4.5. So the incorporation of Delight into the lineup is not good enough to send it all the way up to 7. I think you're better off playing... if you believe in a Fredit Briand upset, you should be playing the overs on Prize Picks. If you think that they're going to lose the match, you should be playing the unders on Underdog. Then we have the rival matchup for Fredit Briand is their top laner against their jungler, Morgan against Umti. There's no line. There are no additional kills given to either player. I think that Morgan is the better side against Umti. And it's not because I think he has a good matchup against Keen. I don't think that he does. But if anybody on that team is going to be getting kills from a losing position, I would think it's Morgan. It may not happen during the laning phase, but ultimately we just need him to get one more than Umti. It's not a spot that I love. I'm not recommending to go out and bet that, but if I had to pick one side, that is the side I would pick. On DraftKings, I'm not playing Fredit Briand, period. Next up, we have KT Rolster. So KT is plus 258 against Damwon. Damwon, very good team. I don't want to mess around against Damwon, so that means I think that it's going to be a 2-0 in Damwon's favor. In order for KT to pay off at plus 258, they need to win about 28% of the time. I don't think that they will win 28% of the time. So it's funny on Prize Picks. I think they have 2 mid laners listed. They have both Arya and Vikla. I think Arya is the last mid laner to start. On Underdog, I'm pretty sure they have it listed as Vikla. Yeah, as Vikla. So he might not even play. I'm not sure what their rules are in regards to people not playing. But it's at 3.5 and 3, so you probably would be hard-pressed to play that number unless you think KT Rolster wins one of the first 2 games. If you think KT Rolster wins one of the first 2 games, I could see playing the over on Prize Picks, but probably not on Underdog. I think that aiming with the over at 5 is the best play if you're looking for an over in an upset spot. Then we have Rascal against Cuz for the rival matchup, and I think that I prefer the Rascal side there. I don't think that he's better than Nuguri, but top lane is a pretty volatile place, and if he gets a couple of kills, I think that is a better spot than Cuz creating some kind of advantage in the jungle. It just seems more likely. I'm not playing them on DraftKings. Then we have Thunder Talk. So Thunder Talk is up against is up against Top Esports tomorrow. Sorry. Thunder Talk is a plus 522 underdog. The only reason why they're not in 7th or 8th place is because the other 2 matches are probably going to be less bloody. Theoretically, if Thunder Talk beat Top Esports, they would probably be the best team on the slate. I'm not playing them for that situation, but I could understand the rationale. It's going to be super low owned, and there is the 20K to first, so maybe tonight's the night to throw out a $15 lineup on Thunder Talk and just hope you get lucky. On Underdog, we have Kepler and Yao Yao as the duo at 4.5. On Prize Picks, it's at 4. So this is a spot where I would actually recommend playing the over 4.5 because you are getting the kills and the kills from the support, which is beneficial. The UCal line was removed for some reason. I'm not sure why it's faded out. It's the same on Prize Picks though, so if you want to play that number, just play it over on Prize Picks. We have 3.5 for UCal and we have 4 for Kepler. So honestly, I think this is another spot where we can look at playing overs for multiple things, even in losing situations. If you wanted to play UCal and Kepler at the over, I think you would still get away with doing that and expecting them to lose. Those are pretty low numbers, and Top Esports is a bloody team. All it takes is Thunder Talk being aggressive, winning an early game. And tomorrow they are running out Beishuan. I think that Hoya is an okay player, nothing special. Beishuan is a good player. UCal is a okay player, nothing special. Kepler and Yao Yao kind of the same thing. But I do like Beishuan, so maybe he can create some action in the early game and, wreak some havoc on Top Esports and make at least one of the games close. That'd be pretty fun to watch because it would get extremely bloody. So like I said, I would consider the overs on them. And then for the rival matchup, we have Hoya +2 against Beishuan. I'd still take Beishuan. It's not that I think he's better than Tian, but he's the type of jungler that can go off. And I think that's a better spot than Hoya up against Wayward. In the 5 spot, we have LGD. So tomorrow, LGD are playing against Weibo Gaming. This is another spot where it's going to be extremely bloody. Weibo Gaming apparently will just lose one game in every match, no matter who they're playing against. Fearness, Kui, Haichao, Assam, and Jinzhao. I think the match goes 1-2. They're at plus 568. I think them plus 1.5 games is a smart bet because, like I said, Weibo Gaming can lose to anybody. I think that for prize picks, we have Assam at 4, which is a pretty good number. It's a half lower than the line on Underdog. That's at 4.5 with the support being included. So again, you're probably better off playing that number. But if you can only play on one or the other, I would still recommend playing the over because all it takes is one close game. Not even an LGD win. It just requires one close game, and he can hit this over, I think. In the mid lane, we have Haichao. He's at 3 on Prize Picks and Underdog. They're at 3. Assam is at 4 and 4.5. So I guess the Underdog side is better for the over on that one. For DraftKings, I would only play LGD as a secondary stack and not include the team slot because I expect them to lose. But if they're able to go 1 and 2 and have two very bloody games and keep the other one close, then it's possible for them to be the best scoring team tomorrow, even in a loss, which is not typical. Or they could be the second best team, or just for salary purposes, you might want to get one LGD player into your lineups. It's an interesting way to build, and it should create something unique for that 20k to first. And then we have Kui +2 against Fearness. So Kui is the jungler. We want junglers against top laners in general. That's just better generally. So I'll take that all day. I think that's actually a pretty good number. I would prefer that for sure. The one questionable thing about that play is that Fearness is the one going up against the Shy, and the Shy dies an insane amount. The funny thing is that, the two people who are most likely to benefit are Kui and Fearness. So it's really a crapshoot. So I would take the +2 with Kui. The 4th team, the team that I've ranked 4th for tomorrow, is Guangdong Freaks. So they're at -238. They're in an okay matchup tomorrow against Frederick Brion. I think they're definitely more likely to win than lose. They've put up some really good, maybe not good, but really competitive performances against the top teams that are out there, and they have the pedigree. So at -238, we can be somewhat confident that they're going to win this match. I think that they win it 2-1, and that's more of a worst case scenario where I'm hedging. I would say I'm leaning closer to a 2-0, but for this, I would kind of recommend looking at it as a 1-1 during the first 2 games for prize picks. So on prize picks, we have Fate at 4.5, and we have Teddy at 7. On Underdog, we have Fate at 4 and Teddy at 7. So if you're going to play the overs, you should probably just play them both on Underdog, correlate them together, and that could be pretty good. Then we have the rival spot on Underdog, which is Keen +1 against Elim. I prefer the Keen side there. Yes, junglers are better in general than top laners. Keen is a carry player. Elim is much more likely to play something like Poppy, or just a jungler that is not, kill hungry and needs a lot of gold. So he'll probably be trying to hand over kills as much as possible. And again, he does play things like Poppy, so take that into consideration. For DraftKings, again, this is only a secondary team for me. I don't want them as my primary stack. I don't want a captain coming from this team. In the 3 spot, we have Damwon. So Damwon is going up against KT Rolster tomorrow. They're minus 357 favorites. I think that they most likely get a 2-0. And these lines are pretty far apart, actually. So Showmaker is at 5.5. If you're going to play the over for Showmaker tomorrow, you should play it on Prize Picks. If you're going to play the over for Diakdom, you want to play the over on Prize Picks. If you're going to play the unders, if you think that they lose one of these games and it goes 1-1, then you should consider betting the unders on Underdog. So Showmaker is at 6.5, Diakdom and Kellen are at 10. So the 10 number for sure, that's 2.5 difference. Kellen's not going to make up that difference most likely. I would say hit the under there. That's a pretty good play in general. And then for Rival, I think that this is probably the best Rival spot tomorrow on the slate. It's Canyon +2 against Nuggery. I want the Canyon side there for sure. He's another player who might play Poppy, and that would kind of suck for this. But, Canyon is a beast. And if you give me Canyon versus Nuggery in kills, just straight up, I'd probably take Canyon. But with the additional 2 kills, I think it's tough to go wrong there. It just feels like I'm getting it in good. Then in the 2 spot, the second best team tomorrow for DraftKings, Prize Picks, Underdog, and everything like that, I think will be Top Esports. It's very tough to be comfortable with playing, Knight at 10 kills, Jackie Love at 8.5 kills. Those are typically not numbers I want to mess around with. The reason to kind of take a look at them is maybe for unders. Top Esports is a minus 909 favorite against Thunder Talk. That is pretty aggressive. I think that they will most likely win 2-0. Knight at 10. He's at 10 on Underdog and on Prize Picks. So I'm probably not playing the over there. He is my favorite captain, I think, tomorrow. I think if I'm playing Top Esports primary stacks, I'm playing Knight. If I'm playing Weibo Gaming primary stacks, I'm playing Huanfeng. But the interesting part is what happens with Jackie Love. So Jackie Love on Prize Picks is at 8.5. If you want to play the over for Jackie Love, you have to play it on Prize Picks. If you want to play the under for Jackie Love, you're getting Jackie Love plus Mark, 12 kills in Game 1 and Game 2. I think that's a good under spot if you think that Thunder Talk is able to pick up one of the games tomorrow. Not necessarily something I'm going to play, but that is how you have to think about this. Just get the better line over here and play the under. And theoretically, you could middle it, but that seems kind of insane. That's degenerate behavior. Then for the Rival, we have Wayward against Tian straight up. I prefer Tian in that matchup because, like I said, junglers are just better than top laners for kills in general. Sometimes the meta shifts a little bit, but basically go into any patch, and I think that is pretty true. In the past, 6 months to a year, there have been a lot of top laners with big kill scores. Riot did a decent job kind of incentivizing playing carry top laners. And now we have a lot of top laners who are good at playing top lane. Back in the day, it was kind of a role where you hide someone. You needed to have a top laner, so kind of just bring somebody. So the number 1 team, obviously, you guessed it, everybody's favorite team, Weibo Gaming, a.k.a. Theshyning. The Shy, greatest player of all time. Joking, not joking. So they're at minus 1,000. That means they're going to probably win about 90% of the time. I think this match goes 2-0. But if you told me they, dropped the game, I wouldn't be surprised because they could lose to anybody. That's just their play style. That's kind of why I love them. It's it gives them a higher chance to lose a game against a bad team, but it also, in my opinion, is a reason why they win some of the games against good teams, is because they just take these insane risks that other teams would be afraid of. On Prize Picks, we have Angel at 7, and that's an okay number. It's kind of trying to make you not want to bet it. So good job, you picked a good number. And then we have him at 6.5 on Underdog. So if you're looking to play the over, obviously be smart about it. Go over to Underdog. Then for Huanfeng, we have Huanfeng at 8.5 on Prize Picks, but we have him at 11.5 with on Underdog. So if you think they lose one of the games, even if they lose one of the games, I probably wouldn't recommend betting the under. That's going to be a feels bad man when you lose that one. So yeah, you probably just want to play the overs for Angel, and maybe play Huanfeng on Prize Picks at plus 8.5, or over 8.5. Sorry. And then for DraftKings, I think that the best captain of the day is Huanfeng. That's just generally how it works. 80 carries, that's where you want to get. That's where you want to get your captain from most of the time. So let's take a look real quick at one potential lineup. So if we throw in our favorite captain, we throw in the Shy, we throw in S of M, let's throw in Knight. Then we're gonna have to get different. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get On. On is playing, right? Yeah, On's playing. Then we have 5,300. This is not going to be easy to fit in. Maybe we can get. Could get a game stack. Probably not though. KT, Frederick, Brian, Kwangdong. So we have Kwangdong. Then we don't have enough money. So then let's throw Huanfeng down here. Still don't really have enough money. So let's see. Let's put Huanfeng back up top. Maybe we just get rid of that. Go after somebody who we think has a chance to 2-0. So Kwangdong has a chance to 2-0, right? Kellen is cheap. That's a good one. All right, so we got Kellen. Then we still have 7,000. That's not good. Canyon, 6,800. He's just so expensive. Let's do this then. It feels bad, but maybe we just drop down to Damwon. I really want to play Knight though. People are yelling outside, just so you know. Let's go to the team slot. So we have Huanfeng, Nuguri, S of M, Showmaker, Diokdom, Kellen, and then we could go up to top esports. Let's see. That's tough. That's kind of the process though. You have to kind of see where you start, and then you're probably not going to end up there. Just from taking a look at that, I would say Huanfeng is a player that I really want to get in. I think that Damwon team slot looks pretty good. Kellen as your support looks pretty good for the 2-0. Nuguri, you're going to save some salary as well. He's listed as the fourth highest, which is fine. Canyon as well is only 4th highest. So you're getting value out of Damwon tonight. And then you want to attack to try to get the higher numbers from teams like Top Esports. So let's see what a Knight captain team looks like. Damwon, get your Showmaker, get Kellen and Damwon, so we're off by 700. Could you just flip that? Ooh, 200 off. Go from, that would have been cool. Showmaker, Kellen, grab Nuguri. Oh, baby. We got ourselves a good lineup there. So that one's pretty interesting. Then you could also look at swapping out like the Damwon team slot with like Top Esports or Weibo Gaming, or you like go down in the team slot. You go from Tian to Canyon. So those are the kinds of things that I'd be looking at tomorrow. If this one wins, we're doing a giveaway. But yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. So, hope you liked the song in the beginning of the video. Let me know what you're playing tomorrow. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.